Hey, what's up, folks? This is Tony Brewer and Aaron Dotson with Christianity Now. Christianity Now is a podcast where Aaron and I talk about contemporary issues at the Faith in the Lord's Church. We try to do that from the timeless perspective of God's Word. We want to be timely with the Bible. And Aaron has a verse at the ready. We quote this verse every week.
Today,
Well,
yeah,
just
just
about.
about,
Sometimes
yeah,
we forget.
yeah. And today I've got it from the International Standard Version. I've used that one before on this passage. The tribe of Issachar supplied 200 leaders along with all of their relatives under their command. They kept up to date in their understanding of the times and knew what Israel should do.
That's it.
I
So
like
we
that.
got to be up to date on our understanding of the times. We got to figure out what's going on. We can't be like the proverbial ostrich with its head in the sand.
Yep.
I want to share a QR code to take you to buy me a coffee if you scan it. Yeah, you can buy us a coffee, $5. You can donate as much as you want or as little as $5. It's a one-time donation. It gets you on a mailing list, and whenever we do exclusive content and stuff like that, even if you only ever donate one time, you'll always have access to that type of content. Now, if you want to be if you want to give us a recurring donation, as little as $1 a month, and that's only $12 a year. You can go to Patreon at www.patreon.com/Christianity Now, and you can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and you'll get access to the same content, and you will be put on a mailing list where whenever we put post in Patreon and whenever we give updates through Patreon, well, you'll get a notification in your email. And that's all I'm going to say. We're gonna shut the QR code down. It'll still be in the top left if you wanna click it. Today is the 4th of July. The United States of America is celebrating Independence Day. July 1st, Canada celebrated Canada Day. So we kind of had a little bit of a cookout and stuff like that and celebrated with some friends.
Cool.
But yeah, so you got some festivities and stuff planned then, Aaron?
Yeah, sure do. Yeah, I got some friends that invited us over, and we're gonna eat together and hang out. And couple of the kids will swim together. There's a little pool for the kids, and
Well, sounds
Cheyenne is
good.
really looking forward to that. She woke up and had her swim clothes on at about 7 o'clock.
Oh, I can imagine. So, yeah, there's a meme that goes around Facebook. Do you remember watching The Lion King, the animated version from Disney,
Yeah,
where Simba, like it's the crack of dawn, and Simba is pouncing on his dad, like, let's go, you promised, like,
yeah,
and the meme is, you know, 3 weeks ago you said you take your kids to the park, or 3 days ago rather, you said you take your kid to the park on Saturday. And then the meme has like the sun just peaks over the horizon,
yeah,
and then the kids the kids are like, come on, dad, let's go,
right,
let's
yeah,
go.
yeah,
And that's kind of the way kids are, man. You gotta, like,
yeah. You,
it's hard for them to wait. I remember Christmas morning whenever I was a child. um Sometimes I'd sneak up to see if Santa Claus came, and I would be like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
right.
So
Yeah, just go ahead and check, make sure he came. If he didn't, you were gonna do something to get him back, or who knows what.
that's
But
right. Ayo Kunle with YouTube. Good to see you, Ayo Kunle. Sue Ross, good morning to you. And now, this week, what I wanted to talk about, and Aaron and I are going to discuss this, is the world's response to righteousness. If you're watching this on YouTube, I think the thumbnail I have is, can we know what is right? Here's the thing. I believe the world has the response to discussions of righteousness because the world does not believe that we can know what is right. And I think the world has been conditioned in that way. That's something that comes from Satan. This is objectivism. It's postmodernism. It's rooted in an idea that I am, and 99% of the people that you talk to would never affirm this, but it's rooted in this idea, I am my own God. I think about 1 John chapter 2,
yeah,
the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life.
mhm.
I did a lecture for the East Hill Church of Christ back in the day. It's been 4 or 5 years ago now. And my topic was the pride of life. And
Yeah.
I really broke that down, and it's just self-idolatry is all it is.
Hmm.
If you can't know what is right because what is right is not objective, then nothing is right or wrong, and you cannot be judged a sinner on the day of judgment.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, Aaron, it's a maladaptive defense mechanism.
Yeah. I see atheism as a, a condemned person looking for an out,
Yeah,
who's wanting to erase God's, the memory and the idea and the reality of God, so they don't have to give account.
that's
And
right.
notice I said atheism. I didn't say, unbelief or
Yeah,
skepticism. And there's a lot of people that I think they just don't have all the facts. But I think those that actually profess atheism, that they know there's no God, and the ones that are
yeah.
antagonistic, those are the individuals they have not only said no to God, but they are mocking those who do. They're proactive in their faith.
Well, between us chickens, I don't believe in atheism. I don't
Yeah,
think it exists. I
I
don't
know
think
what
there's
you
an
mean.
atheist in the world.
I know what
I
you mean.
I
Yeah.
think they're agnostic.
Yeah. I think you're right
Now,
too.
obviously, there's people that proclaim,
That's right.
or excuse me, that claim to be
Yeah.
atheist.
Yeah.
But we talk a lot about identification. What you identify as
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's how are you identified.
Yeah.
I can identify as Tim Pool from Timcast IRL. I can identify as Vociferon, the great wolf of the north.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I'm still Tim Pool if I'm speaking from his perspective, but
Yeah.
I'm still Tony Brewer.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah. How can you know there's no God? There's so many troubles with
it
that.
exactly.
You can't know that.
And between us, how can you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a God? Well, if you're honest, you know there's no way to prove with empirical evidence, with
Yeah.
physical evidence that there is a God.
Right.
It and that's one thing that a Christian will do that an atheist will not. And when I say atheist, I know I just said I don't believe in atheists, but a self-proclaimed
Yeah.
atheist will never do.
Yeah.
A Christian will admit they're wrong. They could be wrong.
Yeah.
A Christian will struggle with his faith. An atheist has faith.
Yeah.
He doesn't struggle with it.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got a couple of videos here. The first video is an extended version of this video, Aaron, that's gone viral. And I think viral is the right word. It's gotten 200,000 views. Like I snagged the screenshot and I was going to use it, but I forgot to transfer it over, so we're not going to use it. But it's got 200,000 views as of earlier this morning.
Yeah.
And it just keeps racking up views, racking up comments. It's amazing. I tell you what, I will tell you how many comments and stuff it's got because I do have it. I do have the screenshot here. 10,300 interactions, 360 comments, 3,700 shares, and 200,000 views. I snatched that because I thought it was cool. It was an even 200,000.
Yeah.
But it's going up and up. So, all it is a clip from the television series from the History Channel called Vikings. And the reason that I shared it is because I thought this clip was interesting. I had remembered this from when I watched the show back when it aired on the History Channel, and you had to wait for a week between episodes. This is from season 3, episode 9. And Ragnar Lothbrok, an actual historical figure, he is going to parlay. He's the king of the Vikings now. This is reductive. I'm speaking generally. He's the king of the Vikings. Or at least the king of his particular Viking realm, or his corner of it. And he's going to parlay, I believe, with the French. And there are either Orthodox or Catholic. I don't know which denomination of Christianity it is. But he wakes up early and gets there before his officers. And he is negotiating a peace deal with I believe it's the French, and he asked for something. He wants to be baptized. And I shared it because I thought it was interesting that a group of writers in a Hollywood writing room, this is the second time in the show that those writers have equated becoming a Christian with baptism.
Interesting.
Now they don't know anything. They're not theologians.
Right.
So what that tells me, what that communicates to me is, if we can go into the Bible dumb, not just dumb, and we read the New Testament, what would the conclusion be that you would draw? Well, you're a Christian when you're baptized.
Yeah.
That's the only conclusion that you would draw.
Yeah.
You have to have help to get something else.
You do.
Now, what I have found is people coming in, and a lot of them are just, they obviously it's been viewed 200,000 times. There's so many likes and loves and hearts and hugs and stuff like that. But the people that comment are antagonistic to it. They make fun of it. They spew vitriol and hate. And I'm like, what does it matter to you?
Yeah.
And I claimed in the caption that even though this is a fictitious character, I find this very interesting. And I explained the reasons why. And people, Ragnar, this Christianity Now channel, they've shown themselves to be a fool. Ragnar Lothbrok was a real character. And every time I'd go in, I'd respond. Ragnar Lothbrok was a historical figure. The History Channel did his memory wrong. The History Channel took so many liberties that it might have been a show about Ed the Viking. And just time after time after time. But it's not that they're satisfied with just coming in and saying, hey, you're wrong. They want you to be insulted. They want you to feel shame, and they want to shut you down. And that's what we found. And again, we're going to watch the video here, and we're going to watch an extended version of it. And in order to not have any copyright strikes, we're going to have to talk through it just a little bit, but that's okay. So I've stolen this off of YouTube. We're reproducing it under the Fair Use Act. We're using it to provide commentary and all that good stuff. So we shouldn't get any copyright strikes. But so we're going to look at it, and we're going to talk a little bit about it and about the world's response to objective righteousness. Can you know what is right?
Yeah.
Well, the answer is yes. So let's look at the video and see what kind of conversation it spawns. Are you ready?
Yeah, I just say the world subscribes to subjectivism, the contrast of objectivism. But yeah, go ahead.
Yes, what is right and wrong is subjected.
Yeah. Yes,
is subject to how I feel, think, or rationalize.
Yeah.
All right. Let me. Hold
on. Tony, real quick. Yeah, Paige Perry. Yes, the answer to your question is yes. You can watch this outside of YouTube or outside of Facebook on YouTube.
Yes, we now have a YouTube channel, Christianity Now Streams.
Yeah.
And you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And incidentally, good to see everybody, by the way. Jonathan Exum, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth. Yeah, we don't want to suppress the truth. You can know the truth. The truth will set you free. I remember reading that somewhere.
Yep.
Happy 4th of July, Paige Perry. I hope you find some good pork butt and soul food in Canada. Paige, the good pork butt and soul food in Canada has to come from me. So I don't find it. I have to make it.
Yeah.
All right. But thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. You can go ahead. I just wanted to mention that to Paige if she wants to flip over there real quick to YouTube or whatever.
Absolutely. All right. Are we ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
How much treasure do you want to lift the siege and go away?
All right. So this guy that you're seeing right here, he is a wanderer. He's a nomad, and he spent a lot of time with the Vikings. He spent a lot of time with the French. He spent a lot of time with the English. He speaks a few different languages, so he's the translator. Right here, well, I mean, you can't see my pointer, but the guy in the center of the screen in the black, I think that's the King of France, but I could be wrong. I can't remember. I went back and I watched season 3, episode 9 to make sure I had this right about what was going on.
Yeah.
But I can't remember from the show if this is the King of France or what. Maybe some of you in the comment section can help us out. But this guy right here to the right of this political figure in authority is the man of God, supposedly. He's the clergy. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is Roman Catholicism. It's France and English, so it might not be Roman Catholicism. It might be it might be another orthodoxy, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's this is the representative of God, and Ragnar is a practitioner of the North religion. The beginning of the show, the beginning of season 3, episode 9, he had a vision, a dream, in which his friend, whom he loved, called Athelstan, way back in the first season, he kidnapped, and Athelstan was a monk, and he developed a relationship with Athelstan, and the character arc, the character development is Ragnar is being pulled away from the Norse religion by Christianity, and Athelstan is being pulled away to the Christian religion by the Norse religion. Okay. Thank you so much for subscribing, Paige Perry. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks.
So Ragnar is torn, and I think Athelstan, his friend, practiced the Norse religion for a while, and Athelstan, anyway, he ends up dying, but not after he repents and turns back to the Christian faith. Now Ragnar is sick; he's dying. He suffered battle wounds, and he has sieged. I believe he sieged France here, wherever they sieged. And they are negotiating the Vikings' peace between this king and the Vikings. All right.
Okay.
£5,730 on Orient de Jante.
5,760 pounds in gold and silver.
So that's all the money, all the valuables.
Or vos se mont, que c'est de code prenates. Désolos le frère l'empereur va da Paris approximant.
He urges you to accept the offer. Reinforcements are on their way to Paris.
Ragnar laughs. He knows reinforcements aren't on the way.
I know that no one is coming to save him.
C'est bien qu'il n'a d'autres pour vos secondaires.
And the offer is not enough. There is something I also seek that has...
He says the offer is not enough. And I hate that I'm having to, I want to make sure we don't get copyright stricken.
Yeah.
So he says the offer is not enough. There is something else I want. And listen to what he says about what he wants. It has no tangible value.
No tangible worth. But to me is more precious.
But to me is more precious.
I want to be baptized.
Si va che baptisated Levitt said.
He
doesn't understand.
The king there, he said, I don't understand. What do you mean you want to be baptized?
I am a dying man. And when I die, I want to be reunited with my Christian friend who happens to be in your heaven.
That's powerful.
Yep.
That tells me that now this is fictitious. This did not happen. The one that we know of. I mean, but it just exists in the writer's imagination. And some people in the comment section of the video that I shared say that this was attributed to Ragnar by the History Channel, but actually it happened to one of his sons. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, well, we'll talk about his sincerity later on. But my question is, and Aaron, what do you think about this?
Well, I think given some of the comments, some of the people were saying things like, well, he did it for the wrong reasons and this kind of thing. But the bottom line is he believes in the show, he believes his Christian friend is in heaven and he wants to be where he is. So there's something about his Christian friend and his life and his example, and maybe even something that he taught him that inspired him, that convicted his mind. I don't see a major problem with it. I mean, the guy,
Well,
yeah,
as far as motivation, that's
yeah,
what motivates you to come to Christ.
yeah,
What does it matter what motivates you to come to Christ? Now, does he believe that Jesus is the actual Son of God? Does he
yeah.
believe that Jesus died to save his sins? Does he believe he has sins that he even needs forgiven of?
Right.
That's a conversation for another day.
And that's the conversation that we as teachers of God's word would have. But
Yes.
that wasn't the direct purpose, I don't think, of this clip being shared the way we
No.
shared it on Christianity Now.
No.
I mean, look at his determination and he's going up against somebody and that the so-called holy man. And look at the way the so-called holy man treats him.
You're going to go to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, we ain't got there yet. But
Yeah.
if you've never seen this video, then we just gave some of it away.
Sorry.
Yeah. But listen to the way the holy man treats him. And then here is what I was hoping that to come across here. The exchange that Ragnar has with the clergy.
Mm-hmm.
I want more people, men and women, to have this level of intensity with their Christianity today.
Yep.
All right. You ready?
Yeah. Keep going.
Afin quel paradis alors? Puis possono mi chrétien retrouver.
Un infâme la Dieu siras, non el paradis.
He says you will go to hell, not heaven.
Shouldn't have said that, dummy.
That is not your decision to make.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is not your decision to make.
Yeah.
The Pharisees barred entry to the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
They would compass heaven and earth to make one proselyte. And Jesus said, you make them twofold more a child of hell than yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's not your decision to make who gets to come into the kingdom. In my opinion, that was one of the most egregious sins that the Jewish community, the Jewish nation committed, is they put a middle wall of partition up to keep the Gentiles out.
Yeah. And to highlight what you just said,
they did it.
They did it, not God. That's
right. There was not supposed to be enmity between the Jews and the Gentiles. The Gentiles were supposed to come to God through the temple, just like everybody else. They hid their light under a bushel.
Mm-hmm.
They were a city that was set on a hill, and they dimmed their light. They were salt that had lost its savor.
Yep.
We do not pre-qualify people coming to God.
That's right. Absolutely.
And the fella, this is amazing acting. Look at the intensity in this man's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And Ragnar, look, you understand how great of a warrior he was. Historically, he was a great warrior. If half of the legends about him are true, this is a man that you do not want to. You don't want to be in this situation with him.
And just think the actor playing that part there, for all we know, he doesn't even believe in God, and he's sitting there, he's being serious as all get out, the acting.
I know.
He did good acting there. He didn't.
Yes, he did.
He wasn't laughing.
Now keep in mind the video on the Christianity Now Facebook page, it's been edited down to 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So it can be a reel. So you're getting an extended version of this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Happy 4th, Bridget Lee.
The sacrament of the Nephrons.
They will make arrangements for the ceremony.
This is a man.
Now, I want to back this up just a tad. He said, we will make arrangements for the ceremony. In other words, they're putting him off. They're having a quote unquote baptismal Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, listen to Ragnarok. I mean, to Ragnarok. Ragnarok is the Norse Armageddon. Listen to Ragnar.
The sacrament of the Nephrons.
So they're
They will
putting him
make
off.
arrangements for the ceremony.
This is a man of God, is it not? And this is water. Am I wrong? You will do it here, and you will do it now.
And this is water, and you will do it here and now.
You will do it here. But he said, this is water. And he goes, am I wrong? Now, do you think he was asking that rhetorical question about whether or not he was wrong about the fact that it was water? or is it wrong that you should do this now?
Right.
He
Yeah.
said, you will do it here. You will do it now. This is the water. Here it is.
Yeah. Am I
It,
wrong for wanting to do it right now?
I know. It screams of Acts chapter 8.
It does. There's
Here's
water.
water. What's
What's
hindering
stopping
me?
me? Yep.
You will do it here. You will do it now.
That's great.
So, yeah. Now, let's keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder, okay, I got to say this. I wonder if there are people in our lives as Christians that would be this ready, who are proverbially standing waist deep in the water saying, you're a man of God. Here's water. Am I wrong? You'll do it here. You'll do it now. And because we haven't taken the gumption to talk to them about our discipleship and our faith, and they'll never. It's bad.
Ooh,
I think
that's scary.
I know. When in the better land before the bar we stand, how deeply grieved our souls will be. If any lost one there should cry in deep despair, you never mentioned him to me.
Ooh. I have known of people that the biggest, most discouraging thing to them was that the day they were baptized into Christ, they realized, well, I say the day, I know one account, he was baptized like whatever, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He went to that same church building, to that, to that church, to that congregation. And he was so discouraged. He was so excited to come to worship for the first time ever. And he realized that he knew more than half of the people in there, more than just seeing them somewhere.
And they never once.
And they never once.
Yep.
And it tore him up. I think he just got to crying and crying. He was angry and he was crying.
I know.
It just killed him. Thankfully, as far as I know, he's still faithful to God today. But that just...
Well, when we were in the Memphis School of Preaching, we had a guy come and he guest spoke at chapel, and he preached about this in evangelism. And he said, look, I was a Christian and I worked with this fella at this retail sales organization. I can't remember, the Advanced Auto Parts or something. He said, we worked together for a couple or 3 years, and this dude was he was a thug. He was this, that, and the other. No, I never did talk to him about Jesus because I just knew he wouldn't care. And then I went to another work and I fell out of contact with him. And then my day of orientation at Memphis School of Preaching, whenever we stand up and we say who we are and where we're from, after that chapel service, a second-year student come up to me, and it was him. He said, it was that guy. He said, I thought that he wouldn't even want to listen about Jesus to become, to be baptized into Christ. And not only was he baptized into Christ, he beat me to preaching school by a year.
That speaks volumes.
Dude, you could tell it affected the dude. He said, anyway, so yeah, don't underestimate. Don't hold the truth. Do not suppress the truth.
Amen.
Let it out.
Yep.
Let it out. All right. We'll finish this video. All that's left is just some stuff for drama, but I think it's worth commenting on. So they're building the drama. They're building the tension. I don't speak this language. It's Latin, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, I wonder what he's saying.
Now, here comes Ragnar's Viking buddies. They look, I guess a lesson here. Okay, that's Lagertha, that's Floki, and the other guy is Rollo. Floki is Ragnar's best friend, Viking friend. Rollo is Ragnar's brother. Lagertha is Ragnar's, by this time, ex-wife. Watch him when he comes up out of this water. See, Floki hates it.
Yeah.
Rollo has already been baptized, but his was a farce, and everybody knew it. What do you think they're trying to convey here, Aaron? Do you think they're trying to convey that this actually took, that Ragnar was a changed man here? That Ragnar experienced something he didn't expect, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, like his expression when he comes up.
Yeah, like he's experiencing something he didn't expect.
Yeah.
You see the people on the bank doing the little omnum soxum flaxum craxum deal.
Yeah.
Now Ragnar's looking away to his Viking
People. Yeah.
people. Loki's angry.
The guy on the far left is his brother.
On the far right.
Oh, the far right. Okay.
Yeah. So he's contemplating what he did there.
Who was the one on the far left? He was doing that. He didn't.
Yeah,
agree
that's
with that.
Floki. That's his best friend. That's his best Viking friend.
Like he was disappointed he was doing that. This is what,
disappointed ain't the word.
yeah, he was angry.
Very angry.
Vehement. Yeah.
Yeah, vehemently angry. Now, let me explain something. Later on, Ragnar feigns his death, and Floki builds a big boat, a big coffin rather, like a boat, and it's kind of like a Trojan horse deal. And they use that. They fake his death. He says, "I want a Christian burial," so they're going to bury him inside the city, and that's what they use, like a Trojan horse. And eventually, Ragnar, I think, sinks an axe in that bishop and kills that bishop and kills a bunch of Christians. So,
Oh wow.
my point is, regardless of how he used this later, I am convicted that what the writers were trying to show, given the seasons-long character arc between Athelstan, his Christian friend, and himself, Ragnar, that this moment and what he did, he was sincere. I do not believe he technically converted to Christ according to the show, but he reasoned in his head. And then this gets to the point of the show. Can we know what is right? From Athelstan, he knew that in order to be a Christian, the point at which you were baptized is when you're delivered out of the power of darkness and translated into the kingdom. So that's when you become a Christian. And he knew that Athelstan was in heaven, and he wanted to be with Athelstan. It's very, very simple.
Yeah.
And so, although I don't think he was sincere, counting the cost, he probably didn't believe that Jesus was the Son of God, obviously. Well, I say obviously, probably. But in the moment, he was sincere.
So later in the show, the guy that was baptized does some very wicked things that were not becoming of a Christian. Is that
That's the understatement of the century.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes. But my point is,
so according to the storyline, it's like he fell away. Maybe. I mean,
yes, but I think according to the storyline, it's not that he fell away. It's that he did what he knew would get him into heaven. And from his limited understanding, he probably thought that, well, since I'm a Christian, when I die, I'm going to be in heaven regardless of what I do.
He's good to go. Yeah.
Because that's kind of the way the Norse.
Okay.
If you follow the Norse religion and you die in battle, you're going to end in Valhalla.
Okay. Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you live. Like there's a moral code. But
so that's why he would act like that afterward.
That's why he would act like
that's what he learned.
In other words, we didn't share this video
right
as a formula for how Christians ought to be.
No, we know what the formula is. We have the gospel.
We got the Bible.
We share shows to highlight certain specific truths.
Yes, and to illustrate.
Illustrate things.
Sorry. To illustrate things, to illustrate points and stuff like that. So the interesting thing is, obviously, it struck a nerve. 200,000 views plus 200,000 views now, and the vitriol, the fact that now there is a lot of those comments. It's like we can't judge. We don't know. I mean, if he came to God this way, it's up to God to figure out if he's going to receive him or not. Listen, I believe we can read the Bible and we can say, you know what? This wasn't. I mean, Ragnar got wet.
Yeah.
Ragnar didn't get saved.
Right.
Yeah. But again, the thing that I wanted to point out today about can we know the world's response to righteousness, rather, I think it's more not the world's response to righteousness, but the world's response to someone who is confident in their knowledge, and they hate it.
Yeah.
Because the world doesn't offer that kind of peace.
I know. Oh, this strikes a chord with something I've been studying lately, and I did do a short, that we put out, the Christianity Now. I've been studying 1 Corinthians 15 a lot lately.
Yeah.
Two things that really stand out in my mind about that chapter are the confidence and the motivation that the knowledge and the surety of the resurrection give.
Yes.
Like that's why they would go to the chopping block.
That's-
That's why they would sing and pray while they're in the inner stocks in prison.
Well,
It kept their
saints,
sanity, and they
I
believed
know.
it, and they loved the Lord. They were committed to singing and praying and teaching His praises over the ease of physical blessings. You know, the comfort of physical blessings, I should say. Total
Absolutely.
conviction.
Well, I mean, I think about the lesson I often teach from 1 Peter 3. Sanctify the Lord God in your heart and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason for the hope that is in you.
Yeah.
That's not the verse that like if we water that verse down and dilute it to where all it means is you need to learn how to argue with an atheist, then you've missed the punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to be dangerous, or you don't hold on a second. You don't have to be deadly in order to be dangerous.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to die.
Yeah.
And a Christian who is willing to die is the most dangerous thing to the powers that be that has ever walked the face of the earth.
Oh, the world system can't handle that.
No.
There's no answer to stop that. It's like, think about Paul. Just, you put him in, you beat him, you stone him. He gets up and he keeps preaching and teaching.
That's right.
Hey, you arrest him. He writes the Bible. You
That's
kill
it.
him. He becomes a great example and a martyr,
And he goes to Jesus where he wanted to be anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. You gave him relief and a
That's
release.
How can you defeat somebody like that? And that's the deal. And the world hates it because the world doesn't have it. The world doesn't have that peace. I think about 1 Corinthians 14. God is not this is a general statement. You can pull it right out of its context. God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. The word confusion there could just as easily be translated disorder.
Yep.
Order versus disorder.
Yep.
God is not the author of confusion, of disorder, but of peace, of order.
Yep.
And that's it. There you have it. Now, I edited. Let me cue up another video here.
Go ahead.
I edited something from the first minute or so of Dave Chappelle's stand-up routine. And I just wanted to let everybody listen to it.
Yeah.
Because I feel it in my bones, Aaron. And sadly, there's people in the Church of Christ, the religious people are the absolute worst. The video that we shared about Nazis and Jews and is it justifiable to lie in order to save an innocent life, talking about more graded absolutism and stuff like that. The worst, most vitriolic, most vengeful and rage-filled and hateful comments were from people confessing Christ.
Yeah.
People professing to be Christians.
Yep.
And all I can think about is this clip from Dave Chappelle and the meme where the guy's on stage and he says, "I don't care about your booze because I've seen what you cheer."
Yeah.
Let's listen to this.
Oh, it was just incredible how many comments they're just throwing stones in that.
Bad.
Not listening to anything,
and
any substance we were responding.
I created a rather long canned response that I could just copy and paste.
Yeah.
And I've had one or two that's kind of changed their tune, but by and far, they don't even deal with what I've said. They just, this is just a low tier teacher wannabe with his hand out like everybody else. He needs to stop. I'm glad this guy's not behind the pulpit. I'm glad this guy. And this, I wonder what God would say about being fat.
Oh my!
Yeah,
saying some of the most ridiculous and preposterous things.
I know. It's like it doesn't matter. Like, look, I'm missing a tooth. Everybody see it? It's there. I'm missing one.
Showing everybody. Oh my! It's just,
that tooth is not connected to my brain, folks.
Exactly.
And if you judge me and you dismiss me because I'm fat and I'm missing a tooth, you're going to bust hell wide open. And it's not going to bother me a bit. I'm going to feel vindicated when you're burning for eternity. Now, if you think I'm wrong for that, let's have a Bible study.
Yeah.
And I'll show you that I'm right. I don't hate you. I love you. And I'm going to try my best to keep you from that
Sure.
end.
Yeah.
But when I'm in heaven and you're burning in hell, I'm not going to think about you a bit.
I don't think so at all. No.
All right. Now, let's listen to old Dave Chappelle. And
Somebody needs to read the imprecatory Psalms.
yes.
You know, those imprecatory Psalms where God and the psalmist was calling on God to do what he promised he'd do. The same concept is true under the new.
God's
gonna
change.
God's gonna keep what he promised to do. All those that don't obey the gospel, and those that persecuted the church, he'll give rest to those that were persecuted and take vengeance on those. 2 Thessalonians 1. People don't like that. That's what the gospel says.
I know. And I'm certainly not equating me being made fun of for being fat and missing a tooth to what the Christians in the first century went through.
Right.
But I do have to point out there's a vision and revelation of the martyrs in the first century, and they're actually looking forward to the time where God takes vengeance on their behalf.
Well, when you teach the truth and somebody just attacks your personal character, that is part of persecution. It is.
It is.
It is.
That's not my personal character.
It may be small.
That's just how I look.
It may be small in comparison to something physical, like getting stabbed to death or something, but still, it is persecution.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
But go ahead.
Paige Perry says, I've never heard the term imprecatory.
Yeah.
That's new for me. Paige, let me give you a good example, or not a good example. What am I looking for? Definitions.
Yeah.
IMPRECATORY. Definition. All right. Imprecatory. Definitions of imprecation. The act of calling down a curse that invokes evil and usually serves as an insult. Now, the word evil here is not evil as in the opposite of good. It's evil as in calamity. Remember in Isaiah where God says, I'm the God of good and I'm the God of evil in the King James? Mm-hmm. The word is calamity.
Punishment. Isaiah 45, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you have that international standard.
Yeah, I've got it.
Can you look that verse up and read it in that?
Yeah. I think it's Isaiah 45. I have to.
Man, the Merriam-Webster dictionary lets me down all the time. What does imprecatory mean? Imprecatory is, number one, a curse. Number two, the act of imprecating. I'm like, how do you define the term with a term?
That's not good. That doesn't tell us the meaning.
It's like, come on, man.
I got you right here on Isaiah 45:7. That's the International Standard Version.
Yes, sir.
It says, God speaking, I form light and create darkness. I make goodness and create disaster. I am the Lord who does all these things.
Disaster is what they use.
Uh-huh.
That's
and the New King James says calamity.
Calamity. Yeah.
Disaster.
Yeah. Calamity, disaster. All right. So there is an imprecatory psalm, and I can never remember where it is. I should.
I've got you one right here that the atheists love to misquote and misuse.
Which one is it?
It's Psalm 137, and this is for Paige especially. Psalm 137, verse 9. Happy the one who takes and dashes your little ones against the rock.
That's the one I was thinking about.
They totally just take it out of its context, and they don't understand the nature of these imprecatory psalms.
Yeah. So there were people that kicked Israel while they were down.
Mm-hmm.
And the Israelites sang, happy is the one who does to you what you did to us. Happy and blessed is the one who takes your little ones and bashes their brains out against a rock.
And what you said, repay, that's the verse before it, verse 8.
Yeah.
O daughter of Babylon, the way Babylon treated God's people who are to be destroyed. Happy the one who repays you as you have served us.
That's it. Now they're not saying they're the implication there and the implication. That's not what I'm looking for. Anyway, we'll say implication there.
Yeah.
The understanding is, the premise is that it's going to be God doing this through other people.
Yeah, it's not their vengeance. It's
Right.
God's vengeance. You know, God had promised to protect and bless and curse those that blessed and cursed Abraham's descendants.
That's
So
it.
so this is just God keeping his word, and they're just calling on God to keep his word. That's the
That's it.
thing, you know.
That's it. All right. This is a short video. Let me
go ahead.
cue it up here.
I'm getting tight on time, so go ahead.
Yeah, we won't be long. All right, now he starts off. See if you. He said basically he's going to do an impersonation. He says, see if you can guess who I'm impersonating. And people in the audience immediately like Donald Trump is one of them. And anyway, just listen to it. I'm a little nervous. I hope this is the one I edited because he's a little foul mouthed.
I want to see if you can guess who it is I'm doing an impression of. All right, let me get into character. You got to guess who it is, though. Okay, here it goes. Hey, if you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm going to try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're finished. Who's that? That's you.
That's you. Now I'm not equating Dave Chappelle to a prophet, but that rings of Nathan, thou art the man.
Yeah.
It's you, David.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to dig up something from somebody's past. You cannot stand when somebody's. It's happened to Roseanne Barr right now. Roseanne Barr is a comedian, and she had a bit, and they took her bit and they chopped it up, and they made her sound like she was saying that the Holocaust didn't happen and that 6 million Jews absolutely need to die today. That's Roseanne Barr is a Jew, like she is a Jew's Jew. She wrote a book about how Jew she is. Okay. She does not believe that 6 million Jews need to die. She does not believe that the Holocaust was fake. She was using absurdity and contrast in a bit in an interview with another comedian. It was a joke. Now you may think it's in poor taste. You may not like it. You may think it's not funny. You may even think that she shouldn't have done it. But if you cancel her and you share stuff that says she's an anti-Semite and that she thinks 6 million Jews ought to die and she's a Holocaust denier, you're going to bust hell wide open because it is a sin to bear false witness against somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You have participated in cancel culture. You are exactly who Dave Chappelle is talking about. 15 years ago, you said X, and now 15 years later, X is bad. Now you're canceled. I don't like you, and you can never recover from it. And if you ever do anything in the public eye, we're going to come for you. They did it with Kevin Hart over a comedy bit that he had years ago. Now, we're off the subject. I want to get back about the world's response to righteousness.
Yeah.
The world's response to righteousness is their response to anything that they don't like.
Yeah.
All right. We'll cue a little.
Any objective truth they don't like.
Any
You might just add
truth.
that.
That's
That's what they hate.
That's it. That laughter after Dave Chappelle says it's you, that is what's called the guillotine laugh.
Yeah.
When you're uncomfortable and you're highly anxious, your body releases a flood of dopamine that causes you to laugh uncontrollably sometimes.
That's interesting. I know we've talked about that before.
Yeah, the reason it's called the guillotine laugh is because an interesting phenomenon, whenever the beheadings were happening after the French Revolution, they would the guys going up to the guillotine would laugh sometimes hysterically.
Yeah.
And that was the body, that was physiologically the body's way of coping with that.
Yeah. That's interesting. I was looking at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, he says, that's what the audience sounds like to me.
It sounds like to me. That's why I don't be coming out doing comedy all the time, because y'all know it's the worst fuckers I've ever tried to entertain in my life.
Listen, I'm not saying that Christians need to use foul language.
Yeah.
But I've wanted to say that exact same thing to people.
Mm-hmm.
I've wanted to, and look, I mean, it's bad, you know, and it brings me to a verse. All right. Matthew chapter 11, verse 17. Well, verse 16, Jesus says, "Unto what shall I liken this generation? You're like a bunch of children in the marketplace. You say, we piped for you and you did not dance. We mourned and you did not lament." John came eating grasshoppers and wild honey, living out in the wilderness, dressed the way he was dressed, and you said he had a demon. He was demented.
Yep.
I come and I eat with you and I drink with you and I live with you, and you say I'm a wine bibber and a glutton.
Can't be pleased.
You cannot satisfy, and you cannot work to try to satisfy. And I think the reason it boils down to righteous people have confidence in their righteousness, and they have a certain peace.
Yeah, and the people of the world don't, so they hate it and they hate them.
They are envious.
That's John 3, I think.
Yeah. And I'm going to go to Psalm 27. Proverbs 27. Aaron, if you come across another, I can't buy off the eBay in the United States. If you come across one of these that's reasonably priced, would you get it for me?
Yeah.
So I can have two of them, so I can send one to get rebound.
Yeah, I'll try to keep an eye out. I saw one of them for like $100 lately, and I was like, pass.
Nah, I can't do $100.
I can't either.
Where'd I say I was going? Proverbs 27. Listen to this. All right. Boast not about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, not your own lips. A stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. You cannot appease the wrath of fools. Wrath is cruel and anger is a torrent, but who is able to stand before jealousy? You cannot live up to the scrutiny of the envious or the jealous. And then we're going to, I don't have to read the rest of that, but you cannot try. If you try, read the rest of that section, you're going to be like a little bitty baby bird that's always hungry, and you're going to come off of the nest. You're going to come off of the nest. You're going to fall out of the nest, and you're going to die. Deborah O'Neill says, "What is it you wanted, Tony?" Okay, this is a New King James Bible. It's published by Thomas Nelson Publishers. You can see how, I mean, it's pretty big. It's that big. And Aaron got this for like $20 off of eBay. Incidentally, I'm not a gambling man, but I bet you $1 to a moldy donut it was owned by a member of the Church of Christ, because the markings and stuff in it, like they even have. I was reading, and there was a margin, a verse underlined, and in the margin says, "Once OSAS is false." Once saved, always saved is false. Anyway, I want another one of these. This is bonded leather. I want to send this off to have it bound in like a nice goat skin or pebbled calf skin or something like that.
He wants it nice like mine.
But I don't want to live without it for the 3 or 4 months it's going to take to have it done.
Yeah.
Because
I had mine rebound. Yeah.
Yes, because I use it every single day.
Yeah. I love it. I'm hard to please. That's my favorite Bible. Well, I mean, it's got so many good things in it.
Yes, I'm hard. I'm
very hard to
please.
I'm
hard to please. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deborah O'Neill says, "I don't know if it's what you're looking for, but I picked one up off the shelf at church when they were cleaning out. Send me some pictures of it and I'll see. Send me a picture of the frontispiece and send me a picture of some of the pages in it and everything. And I'll let you know."
Yeah. On the inside cover, it'll look like that.
Yeah.
Deborah, it's going to say, it's a large print reference edition, read along references. They haven't printed these in years, unfortunately.
Right. And
I've been told
chickens.
Yeah.
I wish I could get this same format in the most holy of translations.
Yeah. 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 Get it in your favorite get it with, what was the skin that Brother Elkins?
Baby seal skin.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
I would like this in the King James bound in baby seal skin.
Baby seal skin.
Greg James says, "What is the ISBN? International?"
No, he's talking about the ISBN on that Bible.
I thought he was asking about the version you read from earlier, Aaron,
Uh,
the International Standard.
it's
But
here it is. It's 9780.
hold on a second. Let me.
You want to type it on there?
All right. Hold on. Let me do ISBN.
9780
All right.
8407
All right.
85008. I
That
have
it?
I have the original box it came in. I keep it in the
You
box.
think you're hot snot on a
I
silver
am,
platter,
man.
but you ain't.
I'm Johnny come lately with all the cool stuff, man.
You're just a cold booger on a paper plate.
Yeah. Hard as all get out, though.
That's right. That's right. All right. So back to the world's response to righteousness.
Yeah, let's start closing this up because I got to get
That's
off
it.
here.
Yeah, we got to go, or you got to go.
I got to go.
I don't.
You can stay if you want to.
I'm in Canada.
Right.
I celebrated the first.
Yeah. Okay, Christy Lane. Hey, thanks, Christy. She's one of our
Thank
members
y'all
here
so
at
much.
Washington Avenue.
So let's wind this down. Aaron, the world's response to, can you know and have the peace that you're right?
Yep. You absolutely can. And you know, John 3:18-21.
That's it.
He who believes in him is not condemned. Verse 19, this is the condemnation that the light's come to the world. Men love darkness rather than the light because their deeds are evil. Everyone practicing evil hates the light and doesn't come to the light lest his deeds should be exposed. That's the reason why people reject it, because they're not willing to let go of the deeds that they have. They'd rather have the deeds than the forgiveness of sins. I mean, that's what it boils down to ultimately once you come to a knowledge and understand.
Yeah. And when you see somebody that has that calm demeanor, that has that assurance, and they're unflappable. In other words, it doesn't matter what you say to them. And I think that's why these Facebook comments devolve into so much vitriol and hate, is because they're trying to get a rise out of you. They're piping and they want you to dance. They're lamenting and they're mourning and they want you to lament.
Like the comment. Sorry.
No, all you got to do is just be like, y'all have fun over there. Bye.
Well, like the comment of that individual you did a podcast on 2, 3, 4 times ago. It was a picture of a woman, so I assume it was a woman. But the comments of the woman, she at the very end, her last comment when she said she was done commenting, it was very bad what she was saying. But she said, "Yeah, just what I expected. Y'all are exactly what I expected." I'm like, see, that proves your motives. That proves why you came on there. I got what I was looking for. Okay, so you were looking for something. Okay, so you weren't. So you weren't sincere. We were not being mean and shutting you out like she was claiming. And
I didn't even give her what she wants. She was asking questions to make me say, yes, homosexuals are evil, and we can't stand homosexuals in the church. Right. And if you like members of the same sex, then you're going to hell and there's no hope for you. They wanted us to say that.
She didn't like what the gospel says. God loves homosexuals and he wants people to come to him and to live right and to repent of their sins. And
which is what I was telling her.
Yeah. They don't like that because they don't want that change. That's that John 3, lest the deeds should be exposed and that kind of thing. They don't want to change those deeds.
I think this is what I want to tell people from now on when I'm done with them. Like, hey, y'all do you, go bake a cake for your sinful lifestyle. But Scott Beck he said that they don't want to leave us alone. Right. They want us to bake a cake for their sinful lifestyle, which means they want us to participate in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, I want to be left alone. It's, I want you to agree and I want you to publicly come to my side.
Yes.
Or be completely and totally pulverized,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We can know the truth, and the truth is there. And sometimes you'll see somebody completely changed by it. And it's the most wonderful and beautiful thing. I think like Saul of Tarsus. I mean, just completely, he just didn't have the right. I want to say this. I'll end on this. Like denominational people you're talking about.
Right.
I think that's one of the reasons that I think that's one of the reasons I love people in denominations so much. Because some of them, not all of them, but some of them, they truly trust the Lord and they have that calm, peaceful serenity. And they actually have some scriptures. And I'm not talking about those ones that never read scripture in its context. I'm talking about there are some folks out there that consider a lot of verses in their context. They just don't have the right information, or the person that they adore is taking something they need to hear out of its context.
Right.
You know, they're telling them, well, Acts 2:38 doesn't mean what it says. And so they're being misled. But they
Right.
trust God. Like they trust him. They believe. They just have the wrong information. They've been deceived. And God in heaven providentially lead me to those souls. Please, Father.
That's it.
Those souls are very encouraging to me. That's all
That's
I'll
it.
say.
All right. So very quickly, if you have not noticed, we have our logo. Here it is, Christianity Now. I love it. The more I look at it, the more I like it. I do think there needs to be some changes to the Christianity part.
Yeah.
I don't think there needs to be changes to Christianity. Don't take that clip out of its context. I think for the logo, the word Christianity, I think there needs some changes to be made. But all in all, I like this.
Yeah.
We have it animated. I got to figure out how to incorporate that into our stuff. But there it is. It's the idea is that cross being jabbed into that clock. It's now. This is a point in time. Christianity is now.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
And we would not have been able to get this. We paid $250 US, and that came from the Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon money.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
That y'all support us. So thank y'all so much. Other creators, they actually name their supporters. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I think some of our supporters wouldn't want to be named, not because they're ashamed of supporting us, but there's kind of a culturally in our faith, you don't want to let the right hand know what the left hand is doing.
Yeah, and I don't blame folks for that.
Yeah. But anyway,
I like that. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, you can know what is right, and if you do know what is right, and you're confident, the world is going to hate you because the world don't have that peace.
Just don't be confident about something you think is in God's word that you haven't studied for yourself carefully. That's what bothers me. Don't be confident on something that your family or somebody that you love has told you. Be confident because you know you've studied it carefully yourself and you've come to believe and to know it.
That's it. Study to show yourselves approved unto God, workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
Yeah.
Rightly dividing the word of truth. Thank you so much, guys. This has been Tony Brewer and Aaron Dotson. Aaron's got to leave. We got to get off here. Thank you, Sandra Onstead. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the shares. Remember, be the algorithm for us. If we add value to your day, your life, or whatever, subscribe. Consider supporting us monetarily. You know the ways to do that. They'll be in the show notes. God bless you, and we will catch you